Good morning, everyone.
Like him anymore.
If you would kindly get a drink of water if you want over here at the dispenser, then have a seat next to your favorite friendly neighbor. We'll get started. All right. If the secretary would kindly do a roll call.
President Daniels. Vice President Gundry. Treasurer Resnick is absent. Director Bardell.
Here.
Director Harnois.
Here.
Director Martin is absent. Director Ricketts is absent. Director Shaw. Madam President, we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. All right, if we could kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Not the voice back here.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. If it would please the board, we had a acceleration in movement yesterday, and we now have a contract with Vesta that we would like to be discussing at this meeting. So in lieu of the moving forward with the contract, I would like to add it to new business. So if someone could make a motion that we could add the Vesta contract to new business.
So moved.
Thank you, Stephen and Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anybody opposed? So moved. Thank you. All right, the first order of business is to approve the January 3rd, 2025 Federation Board Draft Meeting Minutes. Move for someone to make a motion. Thank you, Jim. Second.
Here.
All right, thank you, Steve. Discussion. Changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved. All right, reports. Management reports. Let's start with you, Paul, this morning, please.
How's this working?
There you go.
All right. That was the first test. Turn the microphone on. Good morning. For those that may not know me yet, Paul Stern from First Service. I'm the not so new general manager. I think I'm in about week 10 right now, so maybe at the 3-month mark I'll stop saying I'm the new guy. It's been a busy month since we did this particular meeting, and some positive movement, lots of good achievements, and I'll cover those quickly. On the landscaping front, the big newsworthy item out there is that we're in the midst of the rebid process. For those that may not be aware, the current contracts end at the end of March, and the RFPs are out. We had a very productive on-site Q&A session with the bidders last week. They actually offered a lot of interesting commentary about both the account and the contract language and so forth. So that was a very productive exercise. They got a site tour for those that were new to the property. They got a site tour, and they're going to be in and around the property doing their own estimating and bidding, and the bid deadline is on the 27th of February, which will allow lots of contemplation, careful contemplation about the various bidders and what they all bring to the table. I would mention in passing that the all of them are they've been coached in detail, and they will continue to be coached in detail to pay attention to the contract language and to be very sensitive about our commitment to policing them, so to speak, and making sure that they deliver what it is they signed up for. So I don't want to turn this into a look arrears. Looking forward, they will get a very detailed set of supervision steps And even your current incumbents have made an incredible amount of progress on open work orders, and that's actually one of my next bullets, which is probably for the first time ever, all 4 maintenance contractors have been encouraged, and I should put that in air quotes, but they've been encouraged to really turn their attention to older open work orders, and for the first time ever, all 4 contractors are now within 10 days, meaning it's all young stuff. So if we can just keep them here, meaning first in, first out, work order gets turned in, work order gets addressed. And if we keep them right where they are right now, I dare say that the entire community will see visible improvement, and what might have been missed on a particular appointment would be addressed much more quickly, and the old festering work orders have really been addressed to a large extent. So that to me sounds like a big win since I saw you last. On the refuse front, there may be an association or 2 out of the over 100 associations that may still need a little bit of modification to the quantity and location of the bins on their property. But to a large extent, it went well. So that's the news flash on that one. All the FCC equipment is out of the temporary staging area, and that transition went literally about as good as it ever does go. So I'm happy about that. On the Corporate Transparency Act, there's really nothing to talk about. There's no changes on that front, and when we become aware of a change, we'll be happy to let you know. The annual meetings are almost wrapped up, so we're going to have a much happier, calmer group of CAMs in short order, because this is absolutely the heavy workload time of year for them. So we're happy about that. I know it sounds like I'm happy about a lot of things this morning, but maybe I am. On an administrative front, another thing I'm happy about is we have our replacement for Helena Warren. His name is Alex Novak. He is on day 5 of his first week with us, and we're going to keep him a little bit under wraps for the next week, but he will be introduced to his the 20-odd associations that he is going to serve. He will be introduced to them most likely the week after next. So we have some onboarding, very detailed onboarding actually, that we're going to do. We are not going to kick him into the swimming pool and just see if the guy can swim. That's not going to be our training method. So we're going to do what we can to have Alex be able to serve everyone in a very professional and effective way. And inherently, just on an interpersonal level, he seems to be just an authentically pleasant, nice guy, which obviously helps matters in all sorts of ways. I think that's the meat of my update for this session.
All right, well, thank you all. All right, let's turn it over to Matt with Festa.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by publicly embarrassing Tosh in the back, who I've known for about 7-8 years now. It is her birthday today. She is
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Joshua. Happy birthday to Joshua. Happy birthday to you.
even better than I could have breathed. I didn't expect a serenade, but she's actually one of my favorite people in the world. She's incredible. I used to work at SunTower, and when I came over here, she hopped along the crazy train with me and came back over, and we're thrilled to have her. So she's a gift to all of us. So thank you. I think last month I talked about, let's take a look at the New Year's resolutions and the snowbird impact. We had 8,000 visits to the gym. We were at 13,300 for the month of January. So we saw a very large increase there. Yep, so spa and salon usage for January, around $30,000. Food and beverage sales. Total South Club patrons served, 8,600. Total South Club food and beverage sales, 227,000. We did see, and I think I talked about this in the membership meeting, we did see a decrease because of the colder weather at the Paradise Palms Bar. $7,500 there, lower sales to be contributed to the record-setting cold weather in Florida. We had 8 days where we were shut down out there or there was minimal traffic. Again, people don't enjoy margaritas when it's 40 degrees. LaPerk Sales and Norfolk Catering, some people do actually. LaPerk Sales and Norfolk Catering, $18,500. Guest passes sold, $6,240, which is still a 15% increase year over year. Outdoor pool lighting update. We actually do have some movement on this one. The county has accepted our application for night swimming. However, we have messages into them asking if we need to post that notification up before we can open it up, because we're not going to be penalized or have the community subject to any fining. So we're waiting on some clarification. So we should know soon if we have the updated occupational license in-house. South Club flat deck.
Wait,
Sorry.
Red,
Skinny dip.
speedo time
Yeah.
coming.
Now they can see him. South Club flat deck roof project. We sent out a communication piece on this one the other day. This was originally scheduled for late October, which was delayed due to the hurricanes affecting supply chains and vendor availability. Project starting next week. We've already gotten some of the supplies in. Just as a friendly reminder, this is not the same roof that was replaced 2 years ago. This is a flat roof, which is where the paths are for the AC vendors to get onto, where the ACs are housed on. So completely separate thing that was in the reserve analysis. So nothing is wrong with the roof that was put on 2 years ago. Hurricane Milton Land Trust asset update. I actually have some forward movement there as well. We received 6 out of 36 checks so far for a couple of the items, including the South Club on pickleball awning, some of the equipment that's on the pool deck at the South Club, including the entertainment overhang and one of the awnings down there. So we are in the process of working with vendors to get those items replaced. We will still communicate to the board on all the other areas. I know we had a young lady at the town hall that was asking about the tennis courts. We continue to wait, and then we'll continue to wait even further. But as soon as we have that information, we're going to pass that on to you and line up the vendors to get things replaced. Winter Series shows, we are now, every single first show is full, and all the second shows have brought in over $137,000 of revenue on a contract cost of $45,000, so great job to Scott. Over 1,300 of you attended the Tony Bennett Lady Gaga tribute, and over 1,400 attended the Bee Gees tribute, meaning the both shows. Phenomenal numbers considering years ago when we had kind of the big bands, those numbers were 400 to 500 a show. So the fact that the community continues to respond for the type of entertainment is very humbling to us, and we get great feedback. Speaking of great feedback, for those of you that attended a show earlier in the month, we've added a show based on the popularity and my phone continuing to ding that night of Bring This Woman Back. Scott was able to reach out, so we have a Divas of Soul Part 2 that was just added for April 15th. We refer to them as a pop-up show. The community should know that our break even on that was 133 tickets. We are over 170 already. So again, another great opportunity for folks to get out of their homes and participate in events that are popular to them. I will not bore you and read everything that's coming up. You get your pointers, your emails, and I think Denny is great about putting everything on there. But what I will tell you is new this year is that the South Club team is doing an Easter brunch. We'll have limited seating for 120, so stay tuned for further information on that. And then I think let's see if I added it on here. Moffitt I do have it later in the report, sorry. Fresh Produce Market is held every Wednesday. On Spot Dermatology, I think, is actually out there right now. Hillsborough County tax rebate. Does anybody remember the forms that we got in the mail that said if you submit this, you can get your check for 42 cents? Does everybody remember
That's
that?
what I got, was 42 cents.
Oh, was it actually 42?
Because I got 2 of them, one for 42 cents and one for 71 cents.
Nice job,
It was
Lucy.
hilarious.
Okay.
Well
So
done, Lucy.
our accounting team
Yeah, my
went through
refrigerator.
every single invoice for the time frame that Hillsborough County allowed us to do. Extremely tedious, took about 10 to 12 work days that they compiled in their own workday. And I want to thank them, because if you think about it, if there's an invoice for $130, they got back for the community $8.30. They ended up getting back around $4,000 to $5,000 for the community, and it was something that we had asked them to do. I don't think anybody from accounting's in here, but it's just one of those things that they do because it's the right thing. Tedious. They pulled every single invoice and submitted. Again, no extra costs were incurred to the community. Vesta does not receive a dime off that, but I want to publicly thank them for treating it like it's their own money. So I do appreciate that. So thank you to that team. Speaking of money, I got the lottery stats for last year. Total sales for the lottery for 2024, $139,000. The amount paid off, $55,000. So if you are interested in, never mind, I was gonna say throwing your money down the toilet, I know a lot of you enjoy doing that, but the higher rate of return, even though the payoff is not as big, is the scratch-offs, 78,000 sold with paying off 44,000. So just so everybody gets kind of an idea. Yeah, now you know you can lose money at a slower pace. And finally, let's see, on my other news, reached out to the folks at the Moffett, the new center. They will be coming here on March 12th to give an overview of their facilities, their amenities, and what they're going to be offering to the community. You're going to see an email communication come out with that with a link to sign up because we will have very limited spots. So just stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out soon. Tram services, miles driven, about 3,000 for the month. Gate security, 8,200 phone calls, 3,800 miles driven in the community. And just so everybody's aware, 5,469 decals have been issued so far. I have multiple stories that are fit for drinking later about confiscating them from individuals who don't belong here. So some good stories there. So I appreciate the security team. We've had some volunteers, Pete and Felix and those guys and the entire team out there. Thank you for doing that. That'll help flush out some folks that shouldn't be here, especially after February 14th. That's your deadline. I know Pete has been in parking lots handing out flyers to people that have invalid stickers and I say harassing in a good way, getting folks to turn them over, and if they don't belong here, they don't need to be here for that. So thank you, Pete, for that. That is it.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move to committee reports. And Ray, you always have something wonderful to talk about insurance for us.
Maybe I don't. Yeah, I do. Earlier this week, I think, because I've had meetings every day for the last 2 weeks in afternoon, so I think it was Monday. Diane and I went and met with USI, and with our insurance company, Heritage. And I'll read this because I don't want to get it wrong. We will have two companies bidding, Heritage and another company called Claire. Heritage has indicated to us during the meeting, and I apologize for this, our estimates for the amount that the insurance will cost this coming year are dramatically higher than what they will cost. So the price will come down. We don't have a figure as to how much at this point, but it will be a substantial amount of money, which means it's going to be a lot cheaper for us. We're also going to have an option, it appears, for our hurricane deductible. Right now it's at 5%, and for those of you who have had roof claims, you understand that 5% of those roofs is a big number. We will have apparently an option at 3%. Before the next meeting next month, I will have figured out what the cost is for those two things, and the presidents can decide which one they want to have. Because it may be a better deal to stay with 5%, and it may be a smarter thing to go to 3%, but you will have those options. Let's see. On February 24th at 9:30 in the morning in Veterans Theater, for those of you who have had claims, Brian, Mike Batcho, our adjuster, and Fatima, who is above him, will be in the Veterans Theater to explain to you how to read through the 100+ pages that you will get back on your claims so you know what you're looking at. Those claims, this thing is breaking up on me. Those claims, okay, right, got it, okay, got it. Where was I? Oh yeah, the claims. There's an awful lot of detail in those estimates. The truth is you really don't need to know everything that's there. What's important is the last two things, which is how much money am I getting and how much is my holdback. The holdback is there until such time that you've hired a contractor and the county, if it's required, has given you a permit to go ahead with construction, at which time you will get the rest of the money. All of the claims so far that I'm aware of are coming in above, for the roofs, are coming in above what the roofers want. That's because the Xactimate program is very, they can use a number of different programs. That's the most lucrative one for us. On top of that, the industry years ago cut out paying overhead and profit. We're getting that. We're getting everything conceivable, and it's working out very well, as far as I can tell. Anything else? Let's see. On March 7th, we'll have those figures. We'll have the renewal pricing for the first time that I'm aware of a month ahead of time. Usually it's the day before. Finally, we did discuss with Heritage and with our broker the idea of setting up an agency. It appears now that this is going to happen, and we are going to have individual policies designed specifically for Kings Point, and no one else in the state will have them. The pricing will be very good, and the coverage will be whatever you choose to have covered. For those, what I have discovered is there are a number of people in Kings Point that don't carry insurance because they don't have a mortgage. That is certainly their privilege and their prerogative, whether they want to have it or not. But let me give you 2 examples of why you should have insurance. Your water heater breaks and it floods your neighbor's unit. You're responsible, and you have to pay out of your pocket. I walk into your house and fall down. I'm a former liability adjuster. I'm gonna get $100,000 bucks. I guarantee it. So if you don't have insurance, you gotta pay out of your own pocket. So you may want to consider that before you go on without insurance in the future. As far as the agency is concerned, the agency will start out being run by USI. We will share the commissions. We have no liability. We have no liability and we have no upfront expenses. They do not want to keep the agency because they see it for them as a loss leader. For us, it's a profit situation. If this works out, we will be bringing in a huge amount of money that's free to us. There's no, you will not get the money back directly, but it will be able to be used to pay off or pay down perhaps things that our recreational facilities need improvement on. Instead of assessing you, it'll come from there and your monthly assessment should go down. So that's kind of what's been going on with insurance. Any questions?
Is it just gonna be homes, or is it gonna be all cars, golf carts?
Say what?
Is it gonna be cars,
The lines, right.
golf carts, a whole line of?
The agency will be a full, in my mind, will be a full lines agency built by auto, recreational vehicles, golf carts, umbrella, you name it, you'll be able to buy it. It may take a little time to get, this is not gonna happen in one day. They'll also have employees here, so you can go in and talk to them. Initially, they were talking about 2 days a week, and you'll have a telephone number, which is the way a lot of people buy insurance anyway these days, that you can call any date of a work week. Anything else? That's it.
All right. Cheryl, you got anything on health? No, not this week? All right. All right, Richard Resnick, our treasurer, is on vacation right now, so Jim Gundry, our vice president, is going to give you a treasury report.
Gee, they want to listen to me. In front of you in your packet is, of course, this is the summary for the first 9 months of the fiscal year. This covers it through December 31st of this year. A few highlights on the balance sheet, which is your first sheet after the cover page. The cash in banks is down $155K since March 31 due to 269K transfer to investments in June, which so the money was transferred in order to make more money. These were due to mainly the Nantucket 2 law settlement and some other funds that came in. You'll also notice that the wide to date is there. We are paying out spectrum funds, so that is coming down. You'll notice that forever, and that's going to be happening for the next few years. And that's being basically $140K per quarter that the spectrum money is coming out. Okay, if you go on down to the income statement, the gross interest wide to date is roughly $101,000. And we've also made our first estimated tax payment, because we do have to pay taxes on our investment money, of $12,500. And there were some additional landscape costs, but that was mainly due to the moisture meter that we purchased for the landscape specialist. under the, and I'm gonna go on back to the restricted funds, which is on, yeah, okay, down to the, I'm sorry. I'm looking at two different sheets here, and it's easier said than done. Under the restricted funds, we had 3 claims on the insurance fund, and remember, these funds are to be used for, they can't be used for hurricane, these are normal deductible for the associations. And then we also, I'm going down here then, okay, under professional funds, I think that's on the front, first page. Anyway, under professional funds, under professional services on that, we are, part of it is legal bills, the other is due to the safety culture annual fee. Under contracts, you're going to see that has gone down, but 22,000 of that was to the BTS, for the BTS contract. It's the palm tree fertilization, which the Federation said we were going to pay for this year. And a couple things that I noted on here. Obviously, the contract fees that you're going to see, you see there's a $45,000 inflow in that during the year, since for the first 9 months. That is due to obviously, unfortunately, our contractor's not meeting their contract. We'd love that to be 0 every month, but it doesn't always work out that way. The other thing you'll notice too is that the new owner registration fees, they are down, which tells you that property is not moving as quickly in here as what once was. And other than that, it's very cut and dried. And any questions, you can ask them, but Richard was presenting this in a lot more detail at the membership meeting.
Thanks, Jim. Okay. The biggest thing we need to talk about right now with the President's report is the upcoming elections. So the Federation has elections coming up at our annual meeting on March 28th. And there are 5 sections that are up for election. We have District 2, which is the Cambridges, Canton Court, Dorchester, Gloucester, and the Knolls. We have the higher Gloucesters from E to P, Highgates, Idlewood, Princeton, and Quail Pass. In District 4, it's Highgate and 2, 3, and 4, and Lancaster 1 and 3. In District 5, it's Lancaster 2 and 4, Radisson 1 and 2, Southampton 1 and 2, Tremont 1 and 2, Worthington, and Yorkshire. And in District 6, it's Manchester 1, 2, 3, 4, and Lancaster 1, 2, and 3. Out of those 5 districts, I'm the only one who is seeking a re-election. The other 4 districts are open. So if you believe I've done a very good job and I'm leading the Federation in a good direction, then I request your support in votes for me to lead you again in the next 2 years. For the other districts, we encourage competition. We have many talented and experienced people, residents that live here, who can provide a great deal of knowledge, experience, and help in our direction of moving forward to be more progressive, reducing waste, bringing in income for this community, and reducing our fees. So we encourage you to speak to people in your communities, to come out and put in for a nomination. You have until February 14th to put in for your nomination or a fellow neighbor that you think would do a really good job here. So please encourage them. We're looking for great-minded people to work as a team so that we continue what we've started here in the past 3 years, and we hope that we will have lots of people competing to be on the board. All right. So with that, thank you. And you can either hand deliver them to Arceli at First Service, you can mail it into First Service, whatever's easiest for you. All right, open forum. All right, well, nobody, but Jill's gonna come and tell us something. It's on, Jill, thank you.
My questions are about the insurance meeting February 24th. I'm wondering if you have a time for that yet.
9:30 in the morning at the Veterans Theater.
And then I'm interested in the format. It sounds like they're going to talk about information that we should have in our hands. Explain it to us.
This thing is not working very well today. My understanding at this point is they will, and I'm gonna have to work with people in the theater, but I'm hoping they'll be putting up some of the, probably one of the community's estimates, not identifying the community, so that it doesn't make any difference which community, they're all pretty much the same as far as the form, so they'll go through and explain what's there, what different terms mean, like O&P, which is overhead and profit, or R&R, which means replace and remove and replace. And then there'll be a time where you can ask any questions you want.
So we received a check for a roof replacement, but we've never received any paperwork for us to look at to understand what they're talking about.
That's free money. I don't know why that happened. You might want to ask your CAM to get a hold of the people that would be able to get you the estimates. You should have the estimates. It's actually, I think it's required by law that you get it.
Jill, that happened in my association, and all I did was reach out to my CAM, and then he got it from the adjusters and sent it to me. Okay. Good morning, Evelyn, how are you?
Good morning, I'm Evelyn McQuestion, and I am the president of Fairfield G. I just wondered, do you have to live in the district? Like if I owned a house in one of those other districts, but I didn't live there, I was just renting it, could I be a?
Yes, you can.
I could be?
Yes, any owner can certainly put in for a nomination. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're very welcome. I'm hoping you're thinking of considering.
Sue, how are you?
Good morning, Sue.
Nantucket One. I don't know if this is the right time to ask this, but you mentioned the land trust earlier, and what's happening with the cleanup along 36th Street and the fence?
That's Master Association.
Okay.
Yeah.
Answers that.
On Wednesdays, you can go to their meeting, and that would be a perfect time to bring that up. Thank you, Sue.
Yep.
Good morning, Ronnie.
And there's a board meeting next week.
Yes, I know
Good
that.
morning, Rodney Walker, Oakland Green. To remind everybody in this room, when you get your check from the insurance company and First Services deposit in the account, please remember FDIC insured is $250,000. If it's exceeding that, I highly recommend you move it to a different account. Thank you.
Nice point, Rodney, thank you.
Doris Wente, President Highgate.
Good morning, Doris.
Hi, I did want to just reiterate what Paul said about the smoothness of the new dumpsters and the recycled carts. It went so nice this time, at least in our area, and I really appreciated getting that third cart. I tried forever with the last company and it never happened, so thank you.
Thank you, Doris. Okay, we have no unfinished business, so we will move on to new business, which is the recommendation approval of the Vesta contract. Again, this all came to fruition yesterday, people. I don't want anyone to think there's anything going on behind the scenes, okay? We've had 5 contracts this year, and it has been exhausting. Just letting you know, this board, and everybody involved is just exhausted from all of this. So literally yesterday between the attorneys, this came back to us late yesterday afternoon, very late. So the board members only had last evening to review it. So we're gonna have a motion and then we'll have discussion. So can I have someone please? Thank you, Steve, for the motion to approve the management contract. Thank you, Jim, for second. All right. So let's have some discussion. One thing, if you notice, if you could please turn to page 1, 2, 3. Under 2.2, management's compensation, it's subsection A. If you go down to the second to last line, it states management's compensation may be increased. We should be giving them that increase because 3%, it's going to cover the cost of inflation. They should be entitled to the increase. So I think it's very important that we change that to will instead of may. And as we're going to be discussing, I mean, Vesta has done an absolute fabulous and above and beyond job in creating income and reducing costs for us, and they are certainly entitled to the cost of inflation going forward, and it's an excellent deal. So that is something that I want to bring, that if we can make a motion, someone to change the verbiage from may to will. Okay, so Stephen and Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? Okay, so carried. Secondly, we did agree, and this is an attorney error, that we had agreed to have a 3% increase for the first 3 years of the contract, and the last 2 years of the contract to be increased to 3.5% annually, again, to move with inflation. Unfortunately, the attorney only added that in on the last year, if you see that in front of you, and Jim had also brought that up last night. So I would like someone to make a motion to increase the fourth year of the contract will be increased to 3.5% annually to be equal to what we had agreed upon. Someone to make the motion? Ray? To change the increase on the contract, the fourth year of the contract to be increased to 3.5% annually. Will. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved. All right, now, being that Cindy, only want to just stress a few points and just to show residents, I mean, what a fantastic deal this is. If we're looking at, and we had to get these numbers like last minute, so Matt, thank you for pulling these for me because it's important for the members to understand that the Vesta contract is under the trust. And with the trust, that includes the recreational properties as well as the loan on the recreational properties and the trust land. And with that comes an enormous responsibility that is placed on the Federation Board. Okay, so that is included in the documents. It is not one of the contracts, like the landscaping contract, that's going to be presented to all the presidents, okay, for a vote. The trust contract is only voted on by the board, the Federation Board. Okay, that is included in all the documents. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that and why. Okay, and I just wanted to bring out these numbers so we can show you why we felt that this was an absolute fantastic deal in continuing to support Vesta, number one, for a 5-year contract. It was just currently a 4-year contract. And to show you that the food and beverage sales, okay, since 2022, it's gone up from 2.2 million, then it went to 2.5 million in 23, and in 2024, it was 2.62 million. Okay, these are sales, okay, these are not net after expenses, but to show you that that increase, okay, from Vesta and doing everything they can to keep bringing in money for this community is wonderful. It's astounding, especially with food and beverage. Under the budget, it's around like 13 million of the budget. Don't hold me to that number, but it's an estimated. And to beat the budget every year in the past 5 years is pretty incredible. This year, now this is not audited, this current year, but right now they're beating the budget of like $157,000, and that's even after absorbing the expenses due to Hurricane Milton. Yeah, exactly, that's pretty incredible, right? So they are doing such a phenomenal job in estimating projects and repairs and unforeseen circumstances like we're talking about here. Let me tell you some net numbers so you can see. So the concert series, okay, that Scott, thank you so much for all you have done. I have a series tickets and I'm a huge music person, and they have been absolutely fantastic. So I thank you so much for everything that you've been doing for the community with that. So in 23-24, the sales for that was 410,000. Our profit was $277,000. For 24-25, 457,500 and change, but a cost, we have a profit of $311,631. Marketing, okay, which was Matt's idea. Him and I have spoken about it, we expand all the time, but this was Matt's baby, and this is pure profit coming to us. In 23-24, it was $168,000. 2024-25 is $146, almost $147,000. Matt is doing an unbelievable job in bringing in income, net profit for this community. The team of Vesta, and I can only speak since I became president in April, I met with every manager, I've met so many employees. These people are just wonderful, hardworking people that are dedicated to each one of you. I have never met a person that didn't love Matt.
I don't like him that much. He's okay.
I'm not kidding, okay? This man goes above and beyond and truly loves everybody, even all you pain in the asses, he loves you. Just like I do. Alright? So, to move forward with a 5-year contract at 3% the first 3 years and 3.5% the final 2 years is a fantastic deal. That's wonderful that we agreed upon that, and Vesta is all in partnering and working with this community, working with the Federation Board, and I just hope now you can understand and see why we're hoping to approve this now, because honestly, Matt, I can't thank you. You've been an absolute wonderful leader. We depend on you and your team, and you always come through. So let's please give them a hand. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
I guess we'll see who comes to the microphone and I'll respond to any of those, but in the meantime, just thank you for the confidence, and honestly, it's the team, it's not a Matt thing, so it's the group back there and the way they work with the community. A lot of the ideas have come from folks in the community, and hopefully we've adapted to them and the challenges that have been there. We're just appreciative to serve all you all. That's basically what it comes down to, and thankfully I have a group of people who line up every day and want to serve, and it's a very humbling feeling for me.
I just want to say I helped Matt and I want some of the credit. I've been here a long time too, and good for us, Matt. You and I, baby. I'm on the train.
If I could say one thing, the insurance that Vesta purchases this coming year, talking to our brokers, instead of excess and surplus lines, we're going to have a standard carrier quoting it with better coverage, lower deductibles. And the nice part, because it's coming from our brokers, it'll meld into this new agency, so suddenly we're going to have like a $24,000 income immediately.
Okay, and I don't know if any of you have seen in the back Ginger Anzalone.
Hey, Ginger.
Hey, you might have remembered her when she was the GM here, and she's been promoted and moved on, but she has been instrumental also. I've had several conversations with Ginger, and working with her is absolutely wonderful. I really enjoy working with the team, and the results are just right there in the pudding. So thank you very much, Ginger, for everything. Appreciate it. Okay, one more motion. So motion, someone move to increase the contract to a 5-year contract.
So moved.
Steve, Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Any other discussion? Okay, then I'd like to move for someone to make a motion to accept. And I'm at the facilities management agreement, Kings Point West.
So moved.
Jim and Stephen? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes, of course, please.
I forgot one thing. For those communities who have not filed claims yet, and I talked to one community this morning that hasn't, you still have time to do it. There's no cost to you. We're finding the communities that haven't so far, a few of the communities that haven't so far, when we get Mike out there, they're suddenly getting 5, 10, 15 roofs. Please don't think just because you can't see the damage, there isn't any damage. Some of this stuff is very difficult to see, and you have to be on top of the roof to see it. So if you're going to do it, get through your, I think it's through your CAM, and the CAM will get to the insurance people, and Mike will come out and look at your roof, and either you're going to find out everything is great, which is good, or we're going to have to give you some more money, which is even better.
Thanks, Frank. All right, we're ready for good and welfare. Come on down.
Now, I just did that so I can stand you. Ed Allen, Somerset.
Morning, Ed.
After the hurricane, you guys gave the, Master Association gave you guys permission to use Somerset's, the Pembroke Point Way cul-de-sac as a place to store the refuge. And you took it away, but it still has not been cleaned up. There's still garbage over there, big sticks. And I was told that once the landscapes got back to their normal routine, that would be taken care of. Any idea when that's going to happen?
Paul, can you answer Mr. Allen?
Is this not working again?
Yeah.
Okay, there we
You
go.
guys switched.
No, happy to sidebar with you after this, and I can get a schedule for you. I don't have an answer for you right off the top of my head.
Okay.
But as with all matters relating to landscaping, just let us know and we'll look into it and get with the vendors.
Okay.
All right? Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Rodney Walker, Oakley Green. Matt, I just want to say thank you again for what you and your team do. And if you need an agent to negotiate your next contract with Ginger, let us know.
Anybody else? All right. With that being said, and we move for someone to make a motion to adjourn.
There you go.
You bet, thank you. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you for your attendance, everybody.